Hey guys, welcome back to Balls Fan TV, and today we're going to be doing another transfer round video. Um, it's it's been a bit quiet down at Balls, more outgoings than incomings, but there was someone announced today, so we'll get onto that quickly. But first of all, how are you, Aaron?
I'm good.
Yeah, just before we start the video, we just want to say congratulations to the Balls under 17 to beat Shamrock Rovers 2-0 last night to win the SSE League under 17 final. So congratulations to them, and also good luck to the under 19s tonight who are playing St. Pat's in the under 19s final. So best luck to them. Um, so first we'll start with some of the two incomings that have come in over the last few weeks. A while ago we brought in Tyreek Wilson from Waterford, talented left back uh, who was chose to be in the was voted to be in the PFAI Team of the Year for 2020. What do you make of that signing?
Yeah, I think it's a really good signing. Wasn't really a rumor that kind of went under the radar a little bit, but yeah, he's definitely a great addition to the squad for that place at left back between him and Anton Brezen going into the new season.
Yeah, we've two quality left backs now. I thought Anto Brezen was arguably one of the best left backs in the league last season, if not the best. And Wilson was quality at Waterford as well. So yeah, we've a lot of competition at left back next season. Originally had this one down as a rumor. We were going to talk about it as a rumor, but today it was confirmed that we've signed Georgie Kelly from Dundalk, the striker. What do you make of that signing?
Yeah, I saw a lot of fans on Twitter kind of giving out because he hasn't really played much football in the last few years with Potts and Dundalk, but sure, he's he's scored goals in this league, so he's obviously a good enough striker to be at a club like Bowes, but he just has to show it now.
Yeah, he was pretty decent at UCD. He scored quite a few goals. He went to Dundalk and uh, was obviously going to be kind of second fiddle to Pat Hilton, but I think he still had a pretty decent season. I think he scored 8 goals, which isn't too bad for someone who's meant to be a backup striker. He went on loan to Pats and he didn't look great. He only scored 3 goals, I think, but I think he's definitely a kind of target man type striker. He's big and he can score headers and you can get your goals. But I'm sure Keith and Trevor will get something out of them. They tend to do with these type of players, like who are kind of maybe not as good as at other clubs, but they've Keith and Trevor managed to turn them into great players. Um, we're gonna go to the outgoings now, and one that was probably it was looking destined to happen over the last few weeks is that Danny Grant is signed for a championship side Huddersfield Town. What do you make of that?
Well, it's not great as a Bowes fan to see him leave, but I'm really glad to see him going over to England. And Huddersfield, they were in the Premiership only about 3 years ago, so they obviously have that quality, but they're not doing too well in the Championship now. I think they're around bottom half, but Danny, yeah, hopefully he'll get into the team and start like a house on fire because he has the quality of like the players that have gone over to England. He has the same quality as them, the likes of Sonny Maguire. He should be like trying to emulate what he's done, establish himself in the Championship, and then see how his career goes on from there.
Yeah, it's a big step up, isn't it, from League of Ireland to Championship? Obviously, as you mentioned, Huddersfield were in the Premier League there about 3 years ago, and they seem to be kind of like a bottom half Championship side. But I think it'll take him time to get into the first team, like as a consistent starter. He's only what 20. I think he'll be 21 in a couple of days' time, actually. Um, so we'll see how that develops. Obviously, he has a lot of quality. He showed that last season. I believe he scored 7 goals, and he really showed that he can really go on to do good things. Um, I think it would probably look kind of almost certain that he was going to be going to England at the end of the season. Obviously, we know that Bowles really tried to keep him at the club. He mentioned that it was a big ambition of his to go over to England and make a name for himself. He did mention that there was a possibility that he could have stayed at Balder within Ireland, but he chose to go over to England, which I believe probably think is the right decision. You know, you want to go over and develop your career. But onto another outgoing one that didn't go down very well, but you just knew it was going to happen. Danny Mandroiu was signed for Shamrock Rovers. What do you make of this one?
Oh, stop! Look, when you when you look at the signing, he's obviously what he's done is terrible in a Bulls fan perspective, but I'm not more looking at the signing that Rovers signed him. I'm kind of looking at his behavior, like post lockdown with the whole gargle thing. What someone said to me, he wanted to like double his wage. Then he wanted to go away to Ibiza, and then look, he just it's
Yeah,
it's just not great. During a pandemic, he's there, kind of wanting more, and then he kind of flicks off the Rovers when he has the first opportunity.
yeah. It sums up Danny Mandroiu really. His attitude was piss poor from the start of the lockdown to the end of the lockdown. Really, he obviously apparently he wanted. I suppose if he could have a bit, have a pay rise during a pandemic and wanting to go over to Ibiza during the season, it's not good. But listen, I wish him the worst to look at Rovers and
Hope he rots on the bench.
yeah, he's probably come in as a replacement for Jack Byrne anyway.
Yeah,
I don't know what Stephen Bradley's really thinking there, replacing a worse player for Jack Byrne, but it'd be interesting to see how he gets on. But one that I'm not really too annoyed about. I know a few Bulls fans have been calling him like a snake or a rat, but which he is. But I'm not really losing any sleep over.
no.
Um, another outgoing that is is another big outgoing that will probably happen soon. Is It's been said that Andre Wright will be going back to England. What do you make of that?
Yeah, you can kind of see why he is. He's an English boy, he's from Birmingham. So look, when he since he's come through the middle of the 2019 season, he took his time to get used to the league, and the end of the 2019 season, he was on fire, and then going into last season, he was one of our best players in my opinion. So look, I can see why he's leaving, but it is kind of sad to see him going away.
Yeah, he obviously he came in. I think in the summer of 2019 there from I think it was someone in the National League. Um, he scored 4 goals in one game against UCD and kind of done nothing after that. I know he scored a crucial goal against Dundalk, but after that I wasn't really impressed with him. But I particularly after the lockdown, I thought he came back and done really well. He kind of has that kind of people kind of joke about him as being a bit of a kind of just that kind of big fella up front. He'll hold the ball up and do nothing. Like has no ability, but he showed at times last season that his link up play can be very good. Where he might have a nice touch or nice pass. Like him and Danny Grant linked up very well, particularly in that Shells game where we beat them 3-1. And Talgo, I thought he linked up excellently that game. Um, yeah, it'd be sad to see him go. Obviously, he was very important to us. Last season, he was our top goal scorer. Um, but will Georgie Kelly come in and do as good as him? I'm not sure. Like I don't think Georgie Kelly is as good as Andre Wright, but we'll see how he gets on, and we wish him the best of luck over in England if he goes over. So just moving on to some of the other kind of deals that have happened in the league. Shamrock Rovers have been quite busy so far. They've announced Swin and Danny Manager, but they've also brought in 3 other players. Uh, Chris McCann, experienced midfielder, and they brought in 2 Dundalk lads, Sean Hoare and Sean Gannon. What do you make of those 3 signings?
Yeah, well, the two Dundalk lads we know are good quality players, and like they'll kind of bite their way into the squad. Sean Hoare looks like he could come in as a kind of backup replacement or something like that for Liam Scales, because he isn't he rumored to have a go out over in England.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah,
Yeah, and then Sean Gannon's obviously one of the best right backs in the league the last few years, so he'll probably want to get into that because Rovers played the three at the back. He'll have more of an attacking role at right back now. So yeah, and then it's really it. What was the other
yeah.
fella's name again?
Chris McCann.
Chris McCann. I haven't really heard much about him, but look, Rovers just want to strengthen their midfield, get numbers in the
Yeah,
door.
yeah. Chris McCann. I hadn't heard of him personally when he signed for Rovers, but I looked a little bit into him. I think he's about 33 now, but he was over with Burnley, I think, a good few years ago now. about, I'd say around like 8 years ago or something. And just, I don't know, like judging by the stats, he was pretty decent, and he was over in America there a few years ago with Atlanta, uh, and he was at Oldham there a couple of seasons ago. Didn't really get any game time, but could be proved to be a decent signing. And from what I've heard, he's kind of like a Chris Shields type player,
Yeah,
real leader, like like likes to get stuck in. So we'll see how that one develops. So on to Dundalk, and a lot of players are kind of have been around to be going. Obviously the contract situation has been a big talking point. They've already confirmed that the likes of Nathan to do it and Jimmy Corcoran, that one of their keepers. I think he's one of their, I think these are like their third choice keeper or something, that they've gone. Um, looks like John Mountney will be going to St. Pat's. Um, and obviously Sean Horn, Sean Gannon have both gone to Rovers. A few big departures there for Dundalk. What do you make of them?
yeah, and you probably missed out the biggest departure of all. Their number one keeper, Gary Rogers,
Oh yeah,
retiring.
you're retiring. Yeah,
Yeah, he's been probably one of the best keepers in the league the last 4 or 5 years, and he's in his 40s now. So look, he's
yeah,
been a brilliant servant to League of Ireland. I wish him well in retirement. But look, Dundalk going into next year, they're gonna have to get a squad together because the players they're getting out the door is suggesting that Felipe wants to put his own stance in the team with the players that he wants. So that's how I kind of have a look at it.
yeah. I know that they did bring in a striker from abroad. I think he played for that team that they beat to get into the group stages of the Europa League. I think it was,
Yeah,
their name was like IK or something. That's like their kind of short name. I think his name is Ole Eric Mitz Kogan or something like that. Uh, I think he's like 6'4" or something, so he'll probably be a big threat in the air. He looks strong. He scored that night as well, pretty decent
yeah,
goal
he
as
did.
well. So could could prove to be a decent signing for Dundalk. But there have been rumours that a lot of players are set to stay. Apparently, Dunnigan, Duffy, Shields, Gartland, um, a few others are all look set to stay. Macmillan, but I have heard that there are a few Scottish clubs interested in Pat Houben. That'd be a loss if it was to happen. So yeah, looks like it'd be kind of a window of rebuilding for Dundalk. Uh, and also I've heard that they're bringing in a goalkeeper. I think he's Albanian or something. He's meant to have like exceptional ability from what I've heard. So see how that goes. On to sorry, yeah, on to St. Pat's. I think they're about to announce the signing of John Mountney. But today they've also announced the signing of Ronan Coughlin, which I think is a decent signing. What do you make of that?
Yeah, Ronan's a good striker. He came from Sligo, so he'll fit right in Potts anyway. So yeah, I was kind of disappointed we didn't go for Ronan because I thought he would have suited our style of play.
Yeah, he is a decent striker. He likes to get on the ball and make things happen. He's just kind of work rate is good as well. He on the ball, he's decent. He can create opportunities and score goals. Yeah, so I think that's an exceptional signing for Pat. They also look set to sign John Mountney, which is a good signing. And they've also managed to re-sign Jamie Lennon for 2021. I know that there was rumours that Bowles were looking at him, and I think he's a pretty decent defensive midfielder. So if O'Donnell can bring in a few more names, I think Pats could look pretty decent for next season. Um, so just quickly, we're going to talk about Bowes. Been a very quiet. A lot of people are getting a bit worried because of the outgoings and the lack of income. And do you see it strengthening much now until the end transfer window?
Yeah, like the more it kind of goes on, you're a bit getting more worried, especially kind of now it's Christmas and looking back to last winter we had when the kick came out, we had about three signings that day or around that week, I think.
Yeah,
So
even more. I think yeah,
was it five, something like that?
something like that. Yeah,
Yeah, so it is a bit worrying because there's more kind of rumors that players are going away and uh, confirmation that they are going away rather than rumors that are coming in. So look, you just have to kind of wait and see. But I just hope that the boys get a good squad together.
Yeah, there hasn't been many rumours really either. I know there was a joke rumor that we were after Carl Shepard. Fucking hell, I hope we don't go sign Carl Shepard, but I don't know if that was a serious rumour or was it some sort of joke. But
Oh, I
I
wouldn't
really
be
hope.
surprised if that had been a serious rumor.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised with that if we do end up signing Carl Shepard. But yeah, but I mean, there's been players that we've been linked with. Like I know that there's someone from the Swedish second division that we've been linked with. I think he's a midfielder. I think his name's like Lucas Browning Lagerfeld or something like that. I've never heard of him really. Like he could be really good or he could be shy, but that's just the gamble you have to take on bringing in players that from abroad that you've never heard of. But Keelan knows what he's doing. If he wants to bring in them type of players, they must have something about them. Um, so yeah, it's going to be an important few weeks now. Obviously, I think they're gonna be back for pre-season pretty soon. Anyway, I think it might be after Christmas they're back for pre-season in January or something. So yeah, just the two we've announced so far: Tyreek Wilson and Georgie Kelly. There's definitely a lot more positions we need to strengthen in, particularly on the wings. We technically the only winger we have is Promise on a share, and he's Dort. So we'll have to strengthen in them type of positions. Um, Ideally, we'd need a right winger and a left winger, maybe even another left winger as well, because bringing a left winger, we only one. Then there's no one really there to replace him because obviously we're going to be in Europe next year. We need squad depth because at least if we bring in a right winger, Promise on my shares there. I know that he didn't really look that good in the games towards the end of the season, but he's only what 19, so next season he could have a breakout year. We just don't know. Um, I think we may need a bit of strengthening in the midfield. We know that Lunny's gone to Shells now, and we only have Livingston Buckley. We have Keith Ward, Dawson the boy. We have the young fella Jack Moylan. So I know that that's a pretty decent midfield as well. We also have Ross Turney, which is decent enough midfield. But I'd like to see a bit more creativity personally. I know Devoy has shown that he's a quality player. Keith Buckley has a lot of experience, and I know Conor Levinson's a decent player. But I don't know. I'd just like to see a bit more kind of flair or creativity in the midfield. Someone who can get the ball and run with it and try create some chances. Um, I think defensively we're pretty solid. It's been quite quiet on Andy Lyons' departure. I can probably see him staying till maybe the summer. Because if he was going to England, maybe it'd be kind of talked about a bit more. It hasn't been mentioned in a while. And I was mentioned there like a good few, I think, few games till the season ended. Um, so I think we're pretty sound defensively. We obviously have two great keepers in Talbot and McGuinness, but it's kind of going forward where I'm a bit worried, And we also probably need a couple more strikers, maybe one more striker to fill the void of Macaulay going to Shells and Denny going to Drogheda. So yeah, it's a big few weeks ahead. Uh, Obviously, we'll keep making videos on the signings around the league and in Bows, also on the outgoings as well. If there's any more developments on them, so that's pretty much it. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment what you think of all the done deals and the outgoings. Are you worried for next season? What kind of players would you like to see us bring in? So yeah, that's it. See you in the next video. Bye bye.